Hey family, it's Netta back at you with Black Lives Count, here to do another video. So today we're going to talk about the history and the current status of the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux, whatever, Ku Klux Klan. Those people are really seriously ill. But we're going to talk about the history a little bit, family. I hope you're well. For the ride or die, thank you so much for watching the videos and commenting and liking the videos or sharing the videos. And for anybody new that stumbles upon the videos, please come in, like, share, and also subscribe. We would love to have you. All right, family, let's get into it. The Ku Klux Klan has been terrorizing Black Americans for over 161 years. Beginning in 1865, shortly after the Civil War. Its history is generally divided into three major periods. Let me put on my specs, guys. The first Klan began in 1865 to 1870s, around in that time. Founded in Pulaski, Tennessee by former Confederate soldiers. And we know they fought in that Civil War to keep and maintain slavery, okay? We know that. They use murder, lynching, beatings, intimidation, threats to prevent newly freed blacks from voting, owning property, attending school, or holding public office. They also targeted black political leaders, teachers, ministers, and white allies that were trying to, during Reconstruction, any that tried to help the blacks. And there's a white woman, I can't remember her name, but she was unalived. She was shot in the face because she was trying to help black people, okay? So I think trying to help taking them to register to vote during the time when they were given the rights to vote, but they were being intimidated as so they would not vote, okay? All those different ignorant hoops that they were trying to create for them to jump through, count the jelly beans in the jar, and just a whole host of dumb shit, okay? Let me continue, but they tell you to pick yourselves up by your bootstraps, okay? They tell you that, but then when you pick yourselves up by your bootstraps, they try to set the bar for a different level or change it altogether. The second Klan started in 1915 through around the 40s. It was revived in 1915 and expanded nationally. Now, we already know that they had already expanded nationally because it wasn't just happening in the South. It was also happening in the North. Black people were being terrorized. Their businesses were being burned. Their homes were being burned. Black women was being attacked and, okay? And black children, okay? Black men even. They were even still buck-breaking men. Think about it, family. Wasn't it just about a year ago? I don't even think of, I'm gonna say a year. I'll give it a year. About a year ago, where we saw was several officers, not one, not two. It had to be at least 6 or 7 officers. Raped those 2 black brothers. Remember that? They just won a huge lawsuit settlement. The 2 black men did, but they see these people are still doing this. They like men and children, and they like to take it by force. Let me continue. Anyway, the second Klan started in 1915. In addition to targeting black Americans, it also targeted several other groups, but the main priority were black Americans. Uh, at its peak in 1920, it had millions of members and wielded political influence in several states. We know this to be true still today. There are a lot of politicians that are in the Ku Klux Klan. There are a lot of doctors, lawyers, judges, dentists, police officers, governors. They all presidents, okay, vice presidents. They're all a part of that group. Okay. Anyway, the third Klan began in the 1950s until present. Numerous independent Klan groups emerged during the Civil Rights Movement, which are still emerging to this day. You see those men walking around with the mask on their face now. There's a mask called a Pooh Shiesty mask that the black kids were wearing. They made it banned it. Okay, in a lot of states they have banned that mask so that the black kids couldn't wear it, but they letting these white cracker racists walk around with those masks on, but they're white masks. And those khaki pants and I think a blue shirt. You've seen them. We just saw the picture of the young lady on the train with all them fools on the train and trying to intimidate the black people on the train. Okay, anyway, numerous independent Klan groups have emerged that emerged during the Civil Rights Movement. Members carried out bombings, unalivements, church burnings. You remember the church burning where the little girl, or the bombing where the little 4 little girls were unalived, little black girls were unalived at the church. Assaults and voter intimidation. Black Americans and civil rights activists. Today, the Klan consists of many small, they're not small, many fragmented groups with far greater influence nationally than they had in the past. And like I said, that's because of who are all members. Presidents, vice presidents, governors, senators, and so forth. The Klan's methods have included, as I said, lynchings, cross burnings. They're still doing lynchings. We're still to this day. They just found another young man lynched in a tree. They found a young woman about a week ago lynched in a tree. They found a man before that, about a week or 2 prior to that, lynched in a tree. Cross burnings, we see how the Asian just burned their cross, okay? You know, because they also, the Asians are in there. There's so many. The Hispanics, there's so many Hispanic Ku Klux Klan members and races, which are being used for the primary, doings of the Klan. And trust and believe, if a civil war is to happen, once they use them, they're going to get rid of them. That movie Civil War, where you saw that big old hole they had dug with all those bodies in it, those were not just black bodies. I saw Asians, I saw Hispanics, and all kind of other nationalities, Indians and everything. So see, a lot of them come over here and think they getting one up on the black Americans by joining the KKK. Well, we'll see in the end who you really getting one up on. Physical assaults. Every day we see another case where they are assaulting somebody, just like in the case that just happened in Florida, where the young woman had to unalive that white man, because she got to that parking spot before he did, but he felt because I'm white and I say so, I'm right, and give me that parking spot. And so he pursued her around the parking spot, and she had to let one loose on him. They're still doing voter intimidation. This is why they're trying to break up the voter blocks of the blacks. They're going into all the major black cities, and they're trying to break up those voter sections where black people predominantly vote Democratic, and they're trying to merge it where they won't have a say so. They're trying to make it where we won't have a say so in who's elected into office. But Yahuwah has another thing for them. Threats against families, communities, they're still doing that. There were people that said when with the Carmelo Anthony situation, okay, how they were threatening his family, threatening the people had to move, threatening to kill his family for what? Because he protected himself. Historians estimate that thousands of black Americans have been murdered in racial terror lynchings between the late 1800s and the mid 20th century up to now. Yet they tell you that you don't need a hate crime bill. Yet they tell you that you don't deserve reparations. When these facts are known, and they know these facts, while not, I'm sorry, in total the Klan has existed, though not, in total the Klan has existed 161 years. You hear that, family? 161 years. Now, my question is, why hasn't the United States government did anything about it? Why haven't they put in sanctions? You know how they, or put in laws and policies. You know how they put in laws and policies for these young men, like I just mentioned about the Pooh Shiesty mask. Sorry, family. You know, you gotta hydrate. Why haven't they gone into those compounds? Because many of them have compound. You know why? Because as I said, many of the lawmakers are involved in those groups. So they don't make laws to prohibit them from doing what they have been doing. They don't make laws to stop them. This is why there's no anti-black hate crime on the law books, because they want them to have their will with taking out black people. The young man Nolan Xavier Wells, who was just unalived by those group of thugs that he went with to that island. Then the sheriff comes back just, I believe, yesterday, and said there was no, it's not nothing suspicious. Nothing suspicious. Let 8 to 10 black boys take a white boy out somewhere, and he don't come back. He the only one that don't come back alive. And let's see if they're gonna have the same ideation that nothing took place. They wouldn't have that same ideation. They would start arresting people and ask questions later. The system is set and rigged against black Americans, and it has always been rigged. When they call you a victim and tell you to stop acting victim, why would a victim have to stop playing victim? If you've been a victim for over 400 years, you're supposed to be in that victim status. See, they want to guilt you not to be a victim, or not to feel like you've been victimized, not so much being a victim, but to make you feel like, it's a shame that you should say, yeah, this is what the United States and white supremacists has done to us in this country. you better holler from the rooftops and tell the truth. These people are savages, to say the least. I would say more, but I know you two wouldn't like it. But they're savages. Have always been savages. We should have never integrated with these savages. Because unfortunately, some of our people have picked up some of them same savage ways. As a kid, and I'm almost 60 now, I don't remember black men unaliving their children or raping their children. I don't remember that. I don't remember ever hearing about that when I was a kid. Okay? It was always a white man unaliving his whole family. Children, dog, everybody. That is the environmental danger of us being in the same realm with these people. We fought to integrate, but we should have been fighting to keep segregated. And that is what we should be fighting for now. We can't have a clean, space without these people wanting to come in and take part. And unfortunately, we have a bunch of Negroes that are so accepting and want them to come over and come in to the cookout and all that nonsense, which is why we can't get rid of them. If you leave out food for roaches, you're going to have an infestation. We got to wake up. And those that don't want to wake up, we got to walk away and leave their asses right with them. Period. And once you make your choice, you can't come back over. But family, I'm telling you, it has to change. This is why in the video I did yesterday, you got to teach your children to stop being around these people. If you have to work with them, and that's it. I would not socialize. They try to get you like that too. I've worked in an all-white office, all completely white. Yeah, when you don't socialize with them and tell them your business and go out with them and all that stuff, yeah, they look at you funny and strange, like you're militant. So I got to be militant because I don't want to fuck with you. You're not safe for black people. You're a danger, a hazard, a cancer, a disease. And you always have been. Now I know there may be a couple, and I mean, when I say a couple, I mean 3 or 4, period, tops, that don't have that white supremacist ideation, but majority of them do. We have to separate from these people. And for those that say it can't be done, it can be done. But let me know what you think, family. Peace, love, and blessings to you, and Black Power. Take care. Bye-bye.